So let's make sure we are organizing it properly. I'm going to remind you guys a few episodes that have been super helpful, most downloaded in the past that I think would be really great to be thinking about as we're talking about wrapping up the holidays and organizing all the stuff that's left over. Hi, I'm Paige Killian, and I'm passionate about helping busy moms of littles get organized in 3 simple steps. So here's today's organization motivation. Hello, thanks for coming back for another episode. I'm thrilled to have you here chatting it up as we are winding down from a very fun, very busy holiday season. So now that the holidays have come and gone, although you might be listening to this before New Year's comes. So if that is the case, happy almost New Year. If you're listening to it in January, I hope that you had an amazing start to your new year. Get excited about some new things on the horizon after we talk about organizing all of this stuff with the holidays that have come and gone. We're going to be really kicking off January strong by talking about lots of things that can sometimes get in our way and stop us from getting organized, and also how we can move forward living that organized life so it's simple and easy and not stressful. So definitely consider listening to some upcoming podcast episodes like paralysis by analysis and talking about how we can push past that, and some other really fun ones that I know you're going to enjoy. And I promise you, my goal is to bring value to you so you are getting a lot out of these episodes and you feel like you can take action after listening to them. All right. So as we are talking about now what's happened after the holidays and how we're going to organize post holiday, let's talk about some of those things that did come into your home. So perhaps someone didn't listen to those episodes that I talked about where we're giving the gift of experiences like a guitar lesson or a ballet class or voice lessons or something like that for your kids, or any of those other things I just mentioned, and they gave you stuff. This stuff that you could have gotten could be amazing stuff. So let's make sure we are organizing it properly. I'm going to remind you guys a few episodes that have been super helpful, most downloaded in the past that I think would be really great to be thinking about as we're talking about wrapping up the holidays and organizing all the stuff that's left over. Check out episode 34, Help Your Future Self. That one is something that I talk about all the time and refer back to because anything that we're doing now should be in an effort to help our future selves. So I also talked about an episode, or I talked about a thing really early on called Organizing on Autopilot. And maybe that was like episode 3. It was really early. And the reason that you want to be organizing on autopilot is so that you're doing these things without the stress and overwhelm. Do you ever feel like you have gotten yourself into a place where stuff is bursting at the seams, filling up, it feels very chaotic. It does not feel like things have a home. If that's the case, sometimes moving forward and getting organized feels so daunting because the job has become so big. But if we learn how to simplify the organizing process and we just focus on things like getting 1% better, I talk about that a lot, instead of having to tackle everything, focus on getting 1% better. I talk about that in episode 7, The Essential Purge. When we talk about the 3 E's philosophy that I have, built this business on, honestly, your essentials, enhancements, and extras, sometimes we can't even get to that essential purge that I believe is the very beginning because we are stuck. Whether we're hanging on to sentimental items. Now, look, this could be the case right now. Some people may have given you sentimental items now with the holidays that have just come into your life. You have new things and these become sentimental because loved ones give them to you. Well, what if the stuff they gave you feels sentimental because a person was attached to it and you don't want to purge it because they're important to you? What do you do with that stuff? Well, I definitely have ideas that I've talked about in the past. Look at that episode, listen to that episode, The Essential Purge, episode 7. Go back and listen to that. It talks about not hanging on to so many things that are no longer your style, not hanging on to things that maybe aren't working anymore. Sometimes we actually hold on to stuff that's broken or that we constantly forget to put batteries back in and it's just not working. How about all those things that we might have just gotten from the holidays for our kids that have 1 gazillion pieces or that are noisy and we can't stand them? Or thanks to my brother, Uncle Parker, we call him Fun Uncle, Funkle. He's Funkle. Of course, my other brother is super fun as well. But Uncle Parker decides that he wants to give my children Nerf guns with, the vests so they can shoot each other, all of that. He warned us ahead of time. I will say he did warn us. And it is his job to give rowdy, ridiculous toys. That is what he was born to do. Okay. So I get it. But what happens when you start getting some of these things that you're like, man, these are just not the things that I would have gotten my kid? Well, that's when you assess. You take a look at really what that gift was. Why was it given to you? Is it meaningful? Could it be used? Like, do you need to get out of your comfort zone and just use a gift that you were just given, even though you never would have bought it for yourself? Try it. After you try it once, try it again, because sometimes you got to kind of work at some of these things and then you end up loving it in the end. Case in point, technology. My husband is the king of giving me amazing things that require technology. And I get real freaking freaked out. Yep, that's how much I really freak out because I don't feel super confident and comfortable with using some of these products sometimes, or these new apps or different things like that. And so instead of just giving up completely, I have learned just lean into it, say thank you, because he knows me so well that he knows I will actually end up appreciating these things if I can just get out of my own way and practice, take the time to learn how to do it. And make sure that if you are not loving this item and you have given it a chance, and it's just not your fave, or it's not working out for you, or it's not your style, you can get rid of these in lovely ways without offending the gift giver. You can use a gift receipt if you need to return something. No guilt here. Just take it back and get what you do want and what you do need. That's what the gift giver is most likely intending when they give you a gift anyway. They want you to love it. They want it to be helpful. Also, when you have decided to hang on to these things, now you have to ask yourself, do I have the proper containers in my home that I can organize these things? So let's say somebody does give your kid a gift that is a new toy that you didn't have space for. Well, have a conversation with your kids about purging maybe some old stuff that isn't used anymore and making room for the new stuff that you are going to keep that you're super excited about. Make sure that you are choosing the right containers. That's another episode. Listen to that episode to figure out what is going to be the right container for you, what's going to fit your style. When I say style, I don't necessarily mean, oh, we like woven baskets or we like clear plastic bins. Sure, that's part of it. But also consider your style. Do you need something, especially if it's for the kids? Do you need something that's an open container? So it's really simple for your kid to finish using that activity or whatever that great gift was and just toss it easily, carefully, hopefully carefully. They don't always do things carefully, but easily into an open bin. And then ta-da, it's tidy. Yay, we love that. Or do you maybe have a little bit more time and energy and effort to put a top on that, perhaps have a label on it? If you're trying to figure out how to appropriately label your stuff, you want to make sure it's age appropriate for whoever's using it. I mean, consider if you're a kid who doesn't know how to read yet, and you see these labels that have letters all over them, and you have no clue what that means, maybe it makes sense for your label to actually be a photo of that item. I talked about making sure you're putting in the proper organizers for your style. This also has to do with how busy are you or how easily accessible does something need to be. If you're not really using these items very often, let's say maybe for the holidays, some people gave you some new beautiful ornaments. Okay, these are not things you need to access all throughout the year. But your future self will thank you if you took the time to perhaps purge any old ornaments that you don't need. Well, this is something that often happens at holidays. People give you more holiday decor. So if that's the case, you want to make sure you are purging some of the old stuff to make room for the new. Or If you've done an awesome job at the purge in the past, first of all, pat yourselves on the back. Congratulations. And now you want to make sure that you are gently and appropriately placing the new items inside of those proper containers. So again, check out the YouTube channel so you will see visual examples of how I've organized my holiday decor and making sure that that easily is going to slide back in post holiday as you're organizing and getting ready for the next year's holiday. I will mention too, whenever you are dealing with holiday decor, it's always awesome if you can put the stuff away and then pull out, make it easily accessible, as I mentioned before, the newest, like what's going to be the next holiday that you're going to be celebrating, the newest holiday decor that's going to be coming in. If we are talking about, the December winter holidays, next up might be Valentine's Day. So if you guys have some really adorable, red and pink and purple and white doily covered holiday Valentine decor, maybe you want to make sure that as you're putting the Christmas stuff away, you're pulling out the stuff that's going to have you ready in February. St. Patrick's Day. Maybe you want to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. You've got all the green stuff in the whole wide world. Okay, well, make sure that whatever container that's in right now, that you're pulling that forward and making sure that's going to be easily accessible. And you're not having to weed through, holiday wreaths and Christmas tree stuff and ornament, and then Valentine's Day stuff and whatever, just to be able to get back there to your St. Patrick's Day stuff or your Easter stuff or your 4th of July stuff or whatever holiday is coming next. So you want to set yourself up for the best chance of success and also set yourself up so that your future self will thank you. See where I'm going with this? Again, it's all along the lines of that organize on autopilot mentality. If you're doing these things as they're coming up, and you're constantly thinking about that lovely future self of yours that's going to say, oh, thanks, girl. Thanks for taking the time. Might not have been super convenient that day, but you paused and you thought about me and you took the time to prep ahead so that my job is even easier now. Thank you. All right. These are the conversations that I have in my head. Is that weird? Don't judge. Okay. Listen, it's helpful. And my future self and I are great friends. So as you are thinking about wrapping up this holiday season, which tends to be like boom, 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 lots of holidays all at the same time in the winter months, make sure you're planning ahead, putting in the proper organization, doing a good purge before you are trying to, shove all these things in, making sure you're making room for the new stuff that's just come in. All right. So hopefully some of these links will be helpful as you're going back and you're listening to them and getting refreshed and ready to start a new year. So I'm going to say happy January 2022. I hope that you had the most amazing last year and that the new year is the best that's yet to come. Hey, thanks for watching this video. For more resources to organize and style your busy life in 3 simple steps, head over to everythingwithstyle.com and connect with me on Instagram at everythingwithstylemom. Don't forget to check out the Mom's Organization Motivation podcast over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of your favorite platforms. And if you loved this video, it would make me so happy if you would subscribe and share it with your friends. Thanks so much for watching and happy organizing.